America just watched two Marine veterans unleash hell in the same weekend. One torched a church and gunned down worshipers. Another sprayed bullets at a dockside bar from a damn boat. Meanwhile, President Trump just dropped a 100% tariff on imported branded pharmaceuticals starting October 1st. Now, you can live without Nikes. You can't live without your blood pressure medicine. Now, this is where we are, man. Violence is growing more spectacular. Algorithms are feeding this instability like a weaponized MK Ultra, and I'm going to talk a lot about that. And Big Pharma cashing out while Americans are getting squeezed. Tonight, I'm going to break it all down. The two Marines who snapped this weekend and the tariff bomb, okay? And why the government's trying to stop you from obtaining certain items. And how you prepare to stay alive when America officially enters what I'm claiming is the unhinged era. Welcome to Black Scout Survival Late Night Live, where we tell it like it is, no BS. And if you want to hear about all the good things everybody's doing, go watch it on the channel. All right, let's start off in Michigan, okay? Thomas Jacob Sanford, this gentleman here, 40-year-old Marine vet, Iraq deployment in 2007. Sunday morning, Grand Blanc Township, he rams his truck. Okay, I got a picture of the truck here, into the Latter-day Saints church. Storms inside with a rifle, okay, opens fire, sets the building ablaze. Yeah. Investigators also found IEDs staged on the property. 4 dead, 8 injured. Now, police neutralized him within minutes, though people are saying online that actually wasn't the police. It was a church member armed up and returned fire. I hadn't got the official confirmation on that yet, but that's what the word on the street is. Okay. Now, you can think whatever you want, but that's not a random act, man. That's planned. Truck, rifle, fire bombs. That's a declaration of war on a church. And you have to ask yourself why. We're going to get into some more. Let's look at North Carolina. Nigel Max Edge. Now, that's not his real name officially. He changed it at some point. Also, Marine veteran. Guess how old? 40 years old. This is him with a famous singer, somebody from American Idol. I don't know. Dude has a Purple Heart. Okay. 2 Iraq tours. Saturday night, Southport, he pulls up and the American Fish Company dockside bar, opens fire into the crowd. 3 dead, 8 wounded. Tried to escape by boat. Coast Guard intercepted and dragged him out at Oak Island. Okay. Now they're saying he has TBIs, PTSD, schizophrenic diagnosis, conspiracy rants, lawsuits. And he, again, dated this Kelly Pickler, country star, American Idol, I think, before spiraling into madness. Now you have to ask yourself, 2 Marines, 2 days, 2 massacres. I'm not blaming the Marine Corps because I'm a Marine myself. I'm saying we've got what could potentially be pressure cookers everywhere, man, in this country, okay? And talking about brain trauma, you have isolation with men. You see that happening. Men are being demonized, isolated, kept alone, years of being fed digital outrage, and sometimes it only takes one spark. Look at it. Both are 40 years old. Okay. Same weekend. Coincidence or something else? And I'm going to talk more about that. You have to listen and pay attention. Okay. What I find alarming is that FBI data shows that violent crime is actually down overall. Murders down nearly 15% in 2024. Robberies, assaults trending lower. But if you watch social media or the mainstream media, you're going to see that they're saying it's a ton of violent crime. Okay. Ton of violent crime with these mass casualty spectacles that are everywhere. The media doesn't feed you statistics, man. They manipulate those. They don't tell you the truth, but they feed you spectacles. Why? Because algorithms thrive on outrage. Anger and fear spread faster than facts. That's not an accident. That's by design. It also drives legislation, which is the most important thing. Because 1 or 2 violent crimes here or there, it doesn't really move the needle. But if we have people constantly becoming unhinged, violent acts that gain tremendous attention in media or social media, they go viral, what they'll say is, hey, for your safety and security, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, right? We'll ban guns. It's cool. All the patriots, will ban them, keep you safe. That's how it'll happen. And a lot of people sign off on it because they're like, oh my gosh, man, all these people are, suffering. But that's what's happening right now. Now, I want to play a clip before I get too far ahead of a guy talking to a guy close to Jacob, saying he's the nicest guy in the world. So you have to ask yourself, what is happening? What is happening? I got an answer for you.
They've connected him to what happened at the church this morning, which is a really sad thing. I spoke with somebody in the parking lot a little bit earlier, that's supposedly pretty good friends with him, which I do believe because of the emotions the guy was showing, that this guy was a stand-up guy and would do things for anybody. Did say he was an Army vet. Have no clue if that's what the truth is to that. But if he was, and something triggered him, I can see why. Because, what do we do for our vets? A lot of this is starting to happen nowadays. Something's got to be done. We got to start taking care of our people.
Well, one thing the man mentioned is taking care of our people. Veterans, by and large, are not being taken care of, okay? They're not. Over the years, you go there, they hand you a bag full of pills, tell you take these, and the next thing you know, you have an addiction to some kind of drug. The other thing is that a lot of people may have forgotten, but the media started painting veterans as being bad, right? What inspires veterans or service members to carry out violence and extremism? This was back from January 2025. So this is from this weekend, 9 people dead and scores injured over weekend of mass U.S. shootings. All right, this is the media that they want to expose you to. Oh man, mass shootings everywhere. 324 this year. That's what they want to say. They want to paint those pictures that, hey, be scared, man. Be scared. U.S. military service is the strongest predictor of carrying out extremist violence. Okay. This is a pattern you're seeing. They're painting this. Growing number of military veterans committing extremist crimes, research shows. Now, all these are very left-wing media outlets, but it doesn't stop the fact that it's being reported. They're pushing, man. And this is the thing. This is what's boiling down to. One, veterans are not taken care of at all. A lot of them, leaving service, they get isolated. They don't get the treatment they need, what have you. But also I think it's part of the programming. Okay. We have the Smith-Monk Act, Modernization Act, which allows the government to lie to you, to paint narratives about certain things. Now, what I would call this is that, MK Ultra back in the day, they're using all kinds of stuff, but we're in the future now. They figured out how to stimulate dopamine from your phones. Facebook did tremendous amounts of research to try to figure out what keeps you addicted to social media. You can look it up. It's not a lie. What I believe now is happening is this is MK Ultra 2.0. Not syringes and LSD in some CIA lab. It's your social media feed, 24/7 drip of outrage. Every time you pick up that phone and start using it, dopamine hits of hate and unstable people are being programmed to snap. So maybe that's why you see veterans who are having problems, are not getting help with the VA, and they're getting that social media feed, that MK Ultra 2.0, that them dopamine hits of hate, as well as other people that are isolated, maybe somewhat unhinged in society, like leftists. That's why they're doing Charlie Kirk. And if that was, I don't really believe, but we'll just use that. The ICE shooter, right? So you take isolated individuals, give them the social media feeds, they pump it with algorithms, because algorithms will look different for me than it will for you or from somebody else. You'll pick up the feed and it'll look completely different. Like you can tell they're trying to feed you certain things. I've noticed that in my own social media when I'm browsing, that it tries to feed me certain things and necessarily not things that I'm interested in seeing, but they do that. So it makes me think, Because listen, like I've explained, if you didn't see my MK Ultra video the other week, you should go watch it. I explain on there that all those government experiments were outsourced to private entities. Okay. So the CIA is not doing this type of stuff. They're using some other group to do it, non-government NGO. So they're working on this scientist or maybe tech genius like Peter Thiel, and they're working on these things to create this type of stuff. They love for the chaos to happen to give you the safety and security they want to, the more control. Okay. The same 48 hours, we had Michigan church attack, right? North Carolina dockside bar, both Marines. Nationwide, other things happening across 4 states, right? Some kind of shooting happened in New Orleans as well. Think about in August, Minneapolis Catholic Church, gunfire during service, 2 children killed, right? Don't forget that the New Orleans driver, the veteran that we never heard anything more about ever again, that plowed through the crowd. No idea anything about that guy. He almost is like Thomas Crooks. Okay. Nothing. He had a freaking ISIS flag on the back of his truck, but somehow none of that brought any attention to the FBI. Let's not forget Green Beret Matthew Livelsberger, who drove the Tesla truck up to the Trump Tower, supposedly. Everything about him, his story died. He was trying to expose things about the drones. We've heard nothing more about that guy. Okay. Now, what I'm telling you is the media's driving narratives, right? They've been painting veterans as bad. They've been painting white Christians as bad, right? And if you don't believe me, look at this video from Hillary Clinton I showed the other day.
And I'm proud of the fact that we have always been a work in progress. You know, we haven't gotten to the more perfect union, and we fought a civil war over part of it. Mm-hmm. And people have been protesting, for hundreds of years that, things were not as they should be, given our ideals and how we should be moving toward them. So I think that's what makes us so special as a country. And the idea that you could turn the clock back and try to recreate a world that never was, dominated by, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology, is just doing such damage to what we should be aiming for. And we were on the path.
What she said was white Christian men, essentially. That's what she said. And if you look at the targets as of late, it just aligns. Churches, families, public gatherings, faith and community. That's not random. That's a deliberate strike at America's pillars. They want to make you live in a state of constant fear, where you begin questioning, should you stay sheltered at home and isolated, not gather, not be part of the community, not worship? It's, to me, like when you start connecting these dots, it seems to be all part of the plan. Now, I want to sway just a moment and talk about this tariff bomb, because I know a lot of my viewers, probably this is going to impact them. Trump has announced 100% on tariffs on imported branded pharmaceuticals starting October 1st, right? Generics are safe for now, okay? But India supplies half of our generics and nearly all the raw ingredients. So if the America scope shift, or if the scope shifts, Americans are screwed. Now, what a lot of people don't know, they're clapping for that. They're like, yeah, get those big pharma companies. It's not how it works. History on tariffs costs always land 100% on the consumer. We saw it with sneakers, appliances, electronics. Now imagine your insulin. Tariffs don't make Pfizer cry. They make you cry at the pharmacy counter. And unlike the Nikes, you can't skip your lisinopril or metformin, okay? Domestic drug plants, sure, great, but that takes years. Meanwhile, your prescription price just doubled overnight. So that's why I don't leave my health in the hands of bureaucrats. I own my input, sleep, training, supplements is what I trust, right? My control over it. I talk about that all the time. My control over the situation. But tariffs hit you, not the dealer. The dealer doesn't get hit with the tariffs. You do, the consumer. Okay, that's how it works. And then another problem is that we have September 30th, tomorrow, possible ban. Okay, September 30th is the deadline. On that date, the FDA decides if NMN stays legal as a supplement or gets reclassified as a prescription drug under Big Pharma's lock and key. After that, it could be gone for good. Okay. And NMN to me is the real deal. They don't want you to have it because empty hospital rooms don't make them rich. People that are healthy don't make them rich. Just like the military industrial complex don't get rich during peacetime. They want war. NMN is what I call the limitless pill. It's a precursor to NAD+, powering the energy in every cell. I've shown this 100 times. Harvard studies and other studies have proven this to be true. It's actually, a lot of things are anti-aging. This is reverse aging. It takes you're back at the molecular level. Dr. Andrew Huberman was on Joe Rogan, okay? And I'm going to play the clip because I like this guy. He knows what he's talking about when you're talking about reverse aging or anti-aging.
I think last time we spoke about supplementation as it relates to, metabolic pathways. And one thing I've been tracking pretty closely is this whole, the NMN thing has now taken
I was going to bring that up before we wrap this up. So let's explain NMN for people. It's a precursor for NAD+.
Right. NAD is critical to energy production in all cells, vital. And levels of NAD tend to go down as we age. It's an absolute requirement for cellular health and life. You need it. Some years ago, as David Sinclair came on this podcast and discussed that his laboratory is a tenured professor of genetics, Harvard Medical School, and other laboratories are starting to explore stimulating the NAD pathway as a tool for extending lifespan. You can't just take NAD, or you can, but it doesn't get into cells very easily. There are basically two ways that you can tickle this pathway, increase NAD. One is to take NMN. NMN could soon be a prescription drug that you can only get with a prescription. And then I think Metro International Biotech will likely hold the patent. I will say with NMN, a couple of things happen. First of all, energy, my recovery from workouts, much better. I had to take it early day because it was giving me a lot of energy. I did notice like my hair and nails growing at a ridiculous rate. And then I came off it just as a control experiment, slowed down again.
So you heard him say they're talking about putting him behind a prescription paywall. And what he said is about the energy thing. I noticed the same thing. I had to take it in the morning. I actually was splitting doses to keep me going all day. But now I just take it in the morning because you stay at a high level and cognitive, like you're on fire. But anyway, the data's all there. Better recovery, blood pressure support, cholesterol reduction, longevity. It works. And that's why the swamp hates it. I just can't even believe we're going to see tomorrow if RFK Jr. is going to do something about it. That's what my hope is. But, everybody in Washington is owned and controlled by somebody. So we'll see. I've liked what he's tried to do, but the swamp is so bad. It's so strong. Even people with good intentions that goes to Washington can't pull things off, right? A strong, energized population is harder to control, right? They don't want you hard to kill. Now I take Black Forest supplements, NMN, as you can see here. They're gonna they've got the sale going on right now. I spoke to them about it. I love, it's clean. They make quality products. And let me get this off the screen. It hits. I feel the difference every day in my training and in my recovery. I can tell when I take it. But right now, I asked Black Forest, my homeboys over there, to do a buy one, get one free deal for you guys, because tomorrow could be the day. Okay. You buy one bottle, you get, right? You get two bottles. Okay. So, buy one, get one. So you get two bottles for the price of one. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Okay. This door could be shut forever. So don't wait. I'm going to put the pinned comment down there with the link in the description. Secure it while you still can. Okay. again, we don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully RFK Jr. can pull something out. But again, I've seen a lot of things go lopsided that we thought was going to come to fruition. Okay, so I don't believe it, right? Now, you know, going back, a lot of this ties in with health, mental, physical. We have a lot of people snap, maybe trauma, isolation, broken men. They're trying to break men. Trust me, it is hard to be a man in this world today. Every corner you turn, they're trying to break you. Okay. You have people with untreated injuries, or maybe you can't even afford the medications you need. We have the algorithms. Research shows outraged posts spread faster and gets promoted harder. It's gasoline on the fire, right? Then we have demonization. We got viral clips painting white Christian men as a threat or veterans as a threat. It doesn't matter who's saying it. It matters that it's being said, right? Words do not pull trigger, but they aim unstable minds, right? And the algorithm keeps handing them targets. I truthfully believe that's part of this whole programming. That's what I believe is happening. I had to put a short on it today, the programming, right? Michigan, North Carolina Dockside, the Minneapolis Catholic Church, other churches, Charlie Kirk, whether it's true about Tyler or not, I don't really believe it is, but we'll throw it in there just because it definitely is something that fuels evil minds maybe to copycat or do more of that sort of stuff. We have the ICE facility shooter who said they studied Charlie Kirk. I mean, it's happening constantly now. I think we're in the era of the unhinged. It's going to become more and more constant in our feeds and in our lives. Now, I want to give you some real world protocols because of these events, right? For churches or organizers of events, okay? Controlled entries, radios, rally points, right? Stop the bleed kits and training for people. Have tourniquets, have quick clot, all that stuff, packing gauze, vetted armed security. Now, for individuals, you're out with your family, you're out getting some ice cream at a local event, some cotton candy, EDC, flashlight, blade, tourniquet, okay? Pistol, spare mag. In your truck, a whole full blowout kit, okay? For every member of the family, not just one, for every member of the family, okay? Fitness, be able to sprint, stress drills, pull your body weight up, carry a family member wounded out of an area, run with your kids real fast. Another thing is family planning. Have code words. One code word. You say this, we do this. One landmark, or we call it rally point. An outside contact, someone that's not at the event, okay, that everybody can contact in case we get separated and we can't get in contact with each other. The other thing is digital discipline. Outrage is bait, man. Starve the algorithm. Teach your kids media triage. Don't fall for this stuff they're feeding you. If you notice a certain trend being fed to you and it's something you're not even interested in, take note and recognize the pattern, okay? Medical reality, expect higher drug costs. Stock legally, right? Or however you can get it. Ask for generics, price shop, push reps for American sourcing, but we should not. I agree. I mean, I agree. We should not be dependent upon our enemies for life-saving pharmaceuticals, right? Again, China, India, most of them come from there. I agree on that, but manufacturing here will take years. And the problem is, the biggest problem with it is it could be overturned during the next administration. So basically you paid all these costs and then it gets put back over to our enemy's hands. But this is the unhinged era. Spectacle pays and soft targets bleed. The answer's simple: discipline, layers, and hardness. I'm going to put the link below to go pick up your NMN. Go get it while you can. It could be gone tomorrow. It could be off the shelves and you have to get a doctor to prescribe it for you. And guys, if you got any more information about any sort of these things, make sure you post in the comments below. Let us know any more theories on this. Do you believe that the algorithms are the new MK Ultra? I mean, these are high-tech things. They have AI. They have everything. They have bot accounts that are sitting there fighting with you to fuel you. The outrage. I mean, all that kind of stuff is happening. Anyway, guys, go hit the link, get your NMN, stay frosty, stay strapped, always stay dangerous. Black Scout.